Hi friends, welcome to Toronto Real Estate Street Talk with Riyaz Rauf. Today I'm here somewhere in the middle of January 2023. I'm going to speak to you about a summary of what happened with regard to figures comparing 2021 to 2022 with regard to sales and volume. Now, it's very important to understand this program, the concept that I'm going to introduce to you today. We always looked at figures on a year-on-year basis. So in other words, every month of 2021 was compared to every month of 2022. For example, in what happened in December last year versus December of 2022. Now, what I would suggest is this way of looking things will not make sense for you or to the market in the next 6 months from January to June, or at least till January to May, because we'll be looking at a peak of 2022 versus the lows of 2021. So the ideal way to look at this would be on a month-on-month basis. So for example, where in December where we are from November, and January where we are from December. Are we having a decline or are we having an appreciation? That's the best that we can look at it. So having told that, let's have a look at how the figures were for the month of December 2022 compared to the month of December 2021. Here we are. In terms of volume, we had 3,117 transactions in December in Toronto compared to 6,013 in 2021. That was a decline of almost 48% in terms of volumes generated for December. On the other hand, when you look at the prices, our price in December last year was 1,157,837. Let's round it up to 1,158,000, and it was a decline of 9% for this year because our December average prices were 1,051,216. So we had the decline of 9% in prices and 48% in volumes. This was primarily made up due to the interest rate hikes that we experienced in March. So we had a great gain in January, February and March. Now, after January, February and March, we started going in for a decline. And when the market start giving us price month over month decline for this period. So let's also have a look at how the different categories ended up in December 2022. Detached homes dropped by 13.4%, or the average price now is at 1,384,586 in the month of December. Semi-detached dropped by 14%, the price is 1,009,000. Townhomes dropped again by 13% over the 1 year period from December to December, and today it's at 864,000. Surprisingly, condos from last year December to this year December had a decline of a marginal of 0.9 or 1%, and the average price is about 705,000. So year over year for December we had a price depreciation of 9% and we had a value or the volume of 48% decline. Let's have a look at the next slide that would show you something of interest. This is a slide I'm just going to compare how statistics should be looked or should not be looked and what manipulations are happening in the statistics in terms of the market. Let's look at 2021. The average price for 2021 was 1,095,000. That was the average price last year. and the average price in 2022 was 1,189,000, which was a 94,000 higher than 2021, which basically gave us a 8.6% appreciation in price. So many years later, when we look at the history of, say for example, 2 or 3 years later, when we look at 2022, anybody will argue and say, you know what, we had interest rate hike from almost 300%, we had prices dropping, but still the market grew by, average price grew by 8.6%, and it's definitely difficult to justify, because your month over month we saw prices declining. A house that was valued at 1.6 million in February today can be bought for 1.2 million. There is a decline, and then let me try to explain how that works out here. Unit sales in 2021 was 121,600. Unit sales in 2022 was 46,000 less, or 75,000 units, which is a 38% decline. Now, in December 2021, we had the average price at 1,175,000. Sorry, 1,157,000. And in 2022, we had the average price for December at 1,051,000, which is a 106,000 drop. And that is a decline of 9.2%. So here we are. When we look December to December for a month, we are looking at a 9.2% devaluation or value decline in the prices. On the other hand, when we are looking at year over year, we are looking at 8.6% plus. So these are two things that we have to understand. And let me also tell you something else while this is going on, which is in the month of mid-August, in early September, I did predict that my average price forecast for 2022 would be 1,146,000, and it ended up more than that, 1,189,000. I said actual average price for 2021 is 95, that's correct. Project average price appreciation for 2022, I put it at 51,000 positive, but it was actually 89,000. So it's, my figures here are quite conservative than what we thought the market delivered. This is the same figure again. Now, there's another way of explaining this figure to you in a better way. Let's take Durham, where I live and most of my clients are. When we look at Durham region itself, for 2022, it shows, this is for the entire year of 2022, the 12 months, which has the January, February, March, April high peak and the decline. All put together, we had a value appreciation over 1 million. When we look at it for the month of December or monthly, we look at January was high, February it was getting closer to 1,275,000. Then we started the decline coming in. The only time month over month it was positive, month over month negative, 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 and there was a month over month slight appreciation, reduction, reduction, and a reduction. So this is what we explain. When you look at it month over month, you get a better figure and a feel for the market than when you look at it year over year, which can most likely change the perception of what you are looking for. Let's look at the past history. In 2022, 1,242,000, then we had the highest peak of 1,334,000. So in February, the average price was 1,334,000. From the average peak to today's value is 1,051,000. So that's almost a 250,000 value coming down in terms of average price. So it's always important to look at month over month and not year over year for the next 6 months to get the accurate figures. One more thing. This is what I really want to talk to you about. When people are talking about real estate in 2023, come February, first week of February, when the statistics are out from the TREB or Toronto Real Estate Board and all other institutions, we will see a statistical bloodbath in Toronto, unfortunately, and that is true. But remember, it's not the reality. It's a illusion to say there is a statistical bloodbath, but it is a fact. Those figures are true. The reason is because if you look at January 2022, our price was 1,242,155. Most likely the average price in January will be 1,055,000 is my guesstimate. If that is so, the drop in average value is 187,000 for the month of January. That is a year-over-year drop of 15%. So the media would be talking more about the year-over-year drop of 15% and not the month-over-month appreciation of 0.41 from 1,051,000 to 1,055,000. In February, the actual February of 2022 was 1,334,000. This year, most likely, I am looking at 1,060,000, which means a decline of $274,000, which would reflect as a real estate market in Toronto price drop by 21%. That will be the sensational news that you're going to hear, but the true fact is month over month we have had a momentum of the price appreciation by another 0.47, because I expect from 1,055,000 to it to go up by 5,000, which is 1,060,000. And we have, out of these 12 months, we'll be having 8 months where the central bank will be announcing about the interest rate decisions, whether it's to be increased or no. I am of the opinion that out of the 8, 2 would be interest rate hikes and probably 2 would be neutral, and about 4 towards the third and fourth quarter would be reductions. That's my thought. And with that in mind, we are looking at probably, this is what my predictions are. It could be accurate, but I put this for purpose of discussion. We need some numbers, and I can share this slide with you. So we are looking at a month over month decrease up to around June. The moment we cross June, for example, last year July, 2022 July, the prices were 1,073,000, and I project this year July to be 1,125,000, which would be a positive 51,800 or close to 52,000, which would be a 5% appreciation year over year. For the first time, now we are going to see year over appreciation happening after July, and this would add momentum when the interest rate cuts start coming in. So we got to be mindful of that. The reason I am telling you this at this point is there are a lot of people who ask me, when is a good time to sell? We need to sell. So I am basically saying that the good time to sell would be somewhere in past June. The reason for that is because the market sentiments, the media reports, the noise levels will be great the moment you come to this threshold of year over year being positive bit up to June. I expect the year over year to be suppressing and negative. On the other hand, start July, we are going to see the numbers working out well. However, for savvy investors, all savvy investors who are looking for the opportunity to get into the market as soon as possible are the people who are looking on the momentum. Because earlier we said in 2022, the momentum was month over month was going down, and the momentum here for 2023 is month over month is gradually seeping up and going up. So that is what I look for. That's what I instruct my investors, and investors will understand this in Q1 and Q2, and there will be more investor purchasing coming in Q1 and Q2, and by the time the end users come in, it would be Q3 and Q4, because they would take time, but they need to understand the market and they have to study the market, and realtors like us has to impart our knowledge and the confidence to them. So let's look at how next year would end up in terms of figures, or this year. I expect, of course, our average for 2022 was 1,189,875. I expect projected prices, although the prices are gradually increasing in quarter 3 and 4, the final average price will be 1,119,580, which would be about 70,000 negative compared to last year, and I am expecting a market decline year over year of -6%. So my prediction for 2023 is at the end of the year, we will have a -6%. Last year, I predicted +5%, but we ended up having 8.6% plus, but this time I'm predicting -6%. However, what is important is, on average, month over month appreciation is 1%. So in other words, if somebody were to buy in January something, they might be looking at a 12% appreciation here in terms of their property. So it's going to be an awesome time for investors who wants to buy, and I think this is something that comes probably, I don't know once in how many years or what cycle it is, but this opportunity is a great opportunity for investors to jump in, understand the market, look at where it is going, and another way of looking at is, because people ask us, when is a recession? Recession is defined as 2 quarters that have negative growth. Now, that's in the economic class. Now, if somebody asks me, if you ask me, Riyaz, when is a good time to buy? I would say 2 months that has a positive month over month. If you have December to January as positive, January to February as positive, then you better buy in March, because you know the momentum has been built up. This is my thoughts about real estate comparing 2022 to 2023. Please give me a call at 647-283-1966 if you have further questions, and we can discuss about it. As always, I would prefer you keeping on buying and accumulating properties rather than selling properties. If you have to sell, pay more attention to this and think of selling probably after June. That's the best period, in my opinion, to do it. You can share this opinion with others too. And as always, wishing you all the very best for 2023 in terms of your buying, selling and investing. Riyaz Rauf, a household name. Thank you. It's extremely important to understand that I am giving my opinions here as a realtor and an investor, serving myself, my family and my friends. It's also important to understand, while talking about real estate, obviously we will be talking about legal side, finances and taxes. However, I am not an expert on those, and I urge you to seek expert advice when it comes to those 3 matters.